Hey, welcome back to Protect the Pride, the show for parents everyone counts on. I'm Martin. Today's episode is a little more personal than usual, and I want to handle it with care because it's the one no one likes to think about. And exactly because of that, it's the one that matters most. So stick with me. I promise to make this lighter, not heavier. So I'm going to ask you a hard question and then I'm going to make it easier. Here it is. If something happened to you tomorrow, would the people who depend on you be okay? Not emotionally. Nobody's okay emotionally. I mean, financially. Could your family stay in the house? Keep the groceries coming? The kids in their activities? Could your husband or wife grieve without panicking about money in the very same breath? For a lot of the families I sit down with, the honest answer is I don't actually know. And that's not knowing, that's a weight. You feel it at 2 a.m. sometimes and you push it down because thinking about it feels morbid. So today, let's just take it off the list. First, let's reframe what this even is because life insurance is terrible marketing. It makes you picture death and paperwork and a pushy salesman. So forget the phrase. Here's what it actually is. It's a paycheck that keeps showing up for your family if you can't. That's it. Right now, you are the engine behind a whole lot. The mortgage, the groceries, daycare, college someday. Life insurance just makes sure that engine keeps running if you're suddenly not here to power it. It turns we'd lose everything into we'd be heartbroken, but we'd be okay. It's not about you, it's about the people standing behind you. And the second you see it that way, it stops being morbid and starts being one of the most loving things a person can quietly set up and never talk about again. Now, the sentence I hear the most is I'm good. I've got life insurance through work. And I love that you have something, but work coverage has three problems. One, it's usually way too small, often one or two times your salary. If you make 70 grand and you've got two times, that's 140 grand. And for a family with a mortgage, young kids, that's gone in 2 or 3 years. Two is it disappears the day you leave the job. It's tied to the employer, not to you. So it's exactly as stable as your job, which these days is not a guarantee. And three, it can't flex to your life. It doesn't know you had a second kid or bought a bigger house. Work coverage is a nice bonus, it's not a plan. So, how much do you actually need? Here's a dead simple way to think about it. It's called DIME, four things. D for debt, what you would want wiped clean. I for income, a lot of folks use about 10 times your annual income, enough to replace your paycheck for years, not months. M is mortgage, enough to pay off the house, so nobody worried about the roof. And E is education, whatever you want set aside for the kids. Add those four up, and you've got a real number that's yours. For a lot of young families, it lands between 500,000 and 1.5 million. And I know that number looks terrifying written down, but here's what surprises everyone. It usually costs shockingly little to cover. That is the biggest myth out there. People guess life insurance is about 3 times more expensive than it actually is. The truth, for a healthy person in their 30s, you can often protect your family with a serious amount of coverage for less than you spend on streaming services and a couple of coffees a month. I'm not going to quote you an exact price on a podcast because it depends on your age and health and how much you choose. And I'd never want you to decide off a number that isn't really yours. But the reaction I see most people, the but the reaction I see most when people finally find out their number is just, wait, that's it? The cost was never the real reason this didn't get done. The real reason was that it was uncomfortable to think about. And you're thinking about it right now. So, We're already past the hard part. Quick word on the two types, and I'll give you the honest version, not the sales version. Term life covers you for a set stretch, 20, 30 years. Simple, inexpensive, built to protect you during the exact years your family needs you the most. For most young families, that's the workhorse, and it's where I'd start. Almost everyone. Then there's permanent, whole life, and others. Lasts your whole life, builds some cash value, costs more. It's a real tool for specific situations, but it is not where most young families should start. And anybody who tells you it's the only answer for a 33-year-old with 2 kids is selling, not advising. My approach: get a big, affordable term policy in place first so your family's protected today. Because the worst policy is the one you keep researching for 3 years while you've got nothing. Protection first, optimization second. And why does doing this now actually matter? 2 honest reasons. 1, you never be younger or healthier than you are today. And that's exactly what the price is based on. The rate you lock in now can ride with you for decades. And 2, health can change without a warning. I've watched people put this off, get a diagnosis that was nobody's fault, and suddenly coverage is either way more expensive or off the table. The cruel irony of insurance, as it's easiest to get right when you feel like you need it least. The window's open while you're healthy. It just doesn't stay open forever. That's not pressure, it's just true, and you deserve to know it. Let me tell you about a couple. I'll call them Daniel and Sarah. 2 kids, a house. They loved Daniel earning most of the income. They were the family that had everything, almost handled. And they'd been meaning to look into life insurance for about 4 years. It lived on the same day list, right under clean out the garbage. We finally sat down, 15 minutes with that dime method, and they had a real number. A week later, Daniel had a term policy that would keep the house, replace his income for over a decade, and put both kids through school if the unthinkable ever happened. Cost less than the streaming services they kept forgetting to cancel. And here's what Sarah said to me after, and I think about it all the time. I didn't realize how much I'd been carrying until it was gone. They didn't buy a policy. They bought the ability to stop quietly worrying. That's the real product. The paperwork's just how you get to it. There's an idea I grew up with, idor vador, from generation to generation. The idea that what we build isn't really for us. It's for the people who come next. You don't have to share my background to feel it. Every parent does. And that's all this really is. Not insurance, not a financial product, a way of saying to your kids across whatever happens, I thought about you. I planned for you. Even if I couldn't be there, I made sure you'd be okay. That's not morbid. That's love with a plan attached. So here's your homework, and you don't have to buy anything to do it. 1, find what you already have, your work coverage and any policy you own, and write down the amounts. 2 is run a quick dime number, debt, 10 times income, the mortgage, something for the kids. And 3, compare them and see if there's a gap. For most people, there's a big one. And 4, the important one, say it out loud with your partner. Not the morbid version, the loving one. Are we set up so the other one would be okay? That question is step 1 of being a team about it. And if you want, we'll run that dime exercise together, and I'll show you exactly what it takes to make sure your family lands on their feet no matter what. It's a free 15-minute family protection review. No jargon, no pressure, no obligation. It costs you nothing. I get paid by the plans when a family decides to move forward, not by you. The link is in the description. If this was helpful, send it to one friend who's also been meaning to handle this for a few years. It might be the gentle nudge they needed from someone who isn't selling them anything. Read the full written version and get on the list at the link below. I'm Martin. This is Protect the Pride, and I'll see you next week. Go take care of your people.